Oh, well, there's none around the rest of the table.
Okay, good evening, everyone. This is the Mayor's Agenda, City Official Council Agenda, Tuesday, December 6, 2022. 7. I'd ask the clerk to call.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Here.
Councilman Franke,
Present.
Mayor Hart,
Here.
Councilman Phillips,
Here.
Councilman Welch,
Here.
Councilman
I call this meeting to order. Mayor Pro Tem Dobson, the invocation.
Heavenly Father, in our hearts we plan our course, but we pray that you establish our steps. I pray that we seek you for advice. Let us not make decisions based upon what we know, but let us act based upon your word. Guide us, Lord. Place this meeting, place our hearts and our minds, and may direct us.
Council, at this time, I'd ask for a motion to approve the agenda as it is posted this December 6th. Motion is second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Now I'm requesting a motion to approve the minutes of the regularly scheduled council meeting, November 1st, 2022, and November 15th.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion over.
Just like to make a comment that they're condensed minutes. They're easier to read, not a transcript. But I appreciate that. Thank you.
Other discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. I'm seeking a motion for payroll and accounts payable for the second half of November 2022.
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Accounts payable. Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion's carried. Next item on the agenda, presenting Shine a Light on Autism and
I'm not Ann Lear, I'm Melissa
No.
Johns, and I'm representing Shine Light on Autism tonight, and we are wanting to do the Lighthouse Stair Challenge on April 29th, and we are requesting that North Street and the end of Main be blocked off challenge, and we're also asking permission to use the Old Bridge Access Park and steps for that event, and electricity on the post. We will have ambulance and insurance, of course, and we're looking at 6 a.m. to 11 a.m.
29th. Got the weather.
That'd be nice.
Be nice. Council, just for your information, department head doesn't seem to be obviously. That's it. Second discussion. None, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion's carried.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Next on the agenda is Amanda Schultz with Keepers LLC.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Amanda Schultz. I'm an audit partner at Williams Keepers in Columbia. Joining me is Kristen Brown. She's one of our audit managers, and she was the in charge on the city's audit again this year. We appreciate the opportunity to perform the audit as well as to present our summary report to you all this evening. The summary report hits the highlights of the individual reports that we issued as a result of our audit of the city's financial statements as of and for the year ended June 30th, 2022. So this should be the first report in your blue book. It's just a few pages. The first report that we issued as a result of our audit is the audited financial statements. This document contains the city's annual financial statements as of and for the year ended June 30th, 2022, along with our report on those financial statements. We issued an unmodified or opinion on the financial statements. In our opinion, they are presented fairly in all material respects in accordance with generally accepted accounting principles, GAAP. I did want to note that the auditor's report, which is on pages 1 through 3, audited financial does look quite a bit different this year. We're now following new auditing standards, so the opinion letter has really just been restructured a bit. The opinion now comes still an unmodified or a clean opinion, and the rest of the letter clearly defines, separates management responsibilities for the financial statements from the auditor's responsibilities to audit those financial statements. So again, still an unmodified or a clean opinion on the city's financial statements this year. Management is ultimately responsible for the preparation and fair presentation of the financial statements. Although we prepared them, it is a common practice for us as independent auditors to do so. They were reviewed and approved by management before they were issued. We used our judgment in determining how to audit the city again this year. We focused our attention on areas where the financial could be misstated. So again, just as a reminder, that means we don't audit every balance or every transaction, but we do enough work in order to be able to give that unmodified statements. The financial statements themselves include two different sets of financial statements this year. The government-wide financial statements, those come first on pages 13 and 14. Those are full accrual and they include all the cities, as well as any long-term assets, capital assets, long-term debt, everything that the city has to account and report government statements. There are also fund financial statements, which go into a lot more detail about all of these funds, which are separated into government funds on pages 15 through 18, proprietary funds on pages 19 through 21, and fiduciary funds, pages 22 and 23. Moving on to page 2 of the summary report, the table at the top of that page summarizes the highlights from the financial statements as of and for the years ended June 30th, 2022, with comparative information for 2021. The audited financial statements themselves are not comparative, but there is a section in the audited financial statements, the management discussion and analysis on pages 4 through 12. It is comparative and changes in the various categories, not just presented in the summary, but really detail changes between the years. And again, the same as just cover fiscal year 22, but there are some references back to the year. That means discussion and analysis. Are there any questions about the audit finance? Sure.
There's a reason why
That's a great question. So we do traditionally deliver the bound copies of these reports at these meetings. We did provide electronic copies of the reports once they were available to be issued last week. So I'm not sure the internal process for.
no, guys. Just one more question.
Sure.
You've had findings or suggestions? Just skim it. So I'm not seeing it.
So
Is that
Kristen's
correct?
actually going to cover those in just a moment. We do
Okay.
issue a few additional reports as a result
Okay,
of our
super.
audit, and we're
Thank you.
that I will turn to Kristen.
Everyone, thanks for having me this evening. So next I will cover the auditor's communication letter. This should also be included in your blue bound copy after the audited financials. So the auditor's communication letter consists of comments about the audit process and its results that are required under our professional standards to be communicated to the City Council. I'll be covering a few highlights in the summary. So we noted no transactions that we considered both unusual and significant in the financial statements. The governmental accounting standards, as statement 87 related to leases, was implemented during fiscal year 22. This relates to the lease with General Mills. So this standard required a lease receivable and deferred revenue for future payments to be received to be recorded on the statement of net position. So previously, this was just recognized on the statement of activities as rental income, but now it is on the statement of net position. More information on this is noted in footnote 5 of the financial statements. We also evaluated the estimates that affect the financial statements and found them reasonable in relation to the financial statements. The financial statement disclosures are neutral, consistent, and clear, and all required are included in the financial statement. We also found the accounting records to be in good order, but we did propose several significant audit adjustments as a result of our procedures. These are primarily related to year-end accrual balances and GASB 34 activities, which I'll cover in the next letter. We also had no disagreements with management on accounting or auditing issues, and no difference in our audit, and we felt we received full cooperation from. The next letter I will cover is the management letter. This should be the third item in your bound copy. So this letter is used to communicate any findings we may have about the city's internal, as well as certain other matters that, in our opinion, are significant enough to account attention. So although the scope of our engagement was not directed towards opinion on internal, we do consider internal controls as a basis for designing our audit procedures. So in this letter, it describes deficiencies. So a deficiency in an internal control exists when the design or operation of a control does not allow management or over the normal their assigned tasks to prevent or detect and correct statements on a timely basis. So the first type of deficiency is a material weakness. So this is a deficiency in internal control such that there is a reasonable possibility that a material statement of an entity's financial statements will not be prevented or detected or basis. So we did not identify any material weaknesses internal control. The next type of deficiency is a significant deficiency. So this is less severe than a material weakness, but important. We did identify one significant deficiency in this internal control, and that is related to the preparation of financial statements. So like I mentioned earlier, we identified significant adjustments to the books and records for the financial statements. Again, this is primarily related to year-end accrual balances and Gatsby contract. So the city records their books on the cash basis throughout the year, which is a normal process for a city to do. But as the city is presenting accrual basis financial statements, those cash basis financial statements will be adjusted at the end of the year to present fairly in accordance with the accrual basis of accounting. So this is a continuing recommendation comment that we've had previous years, and really this is mainly due to turnover in the finance director position. We've worked with Bianca and her team and figured out ways that this can improve the future and providing support and additional ways that adjustments can be made and that sort of thing. So that is our one finding, again, consistent with. And then the last report I will cover is the so again, this should be the last item in your packet. So this document contains the city's schedule of payroll reportable for the year in December 31st, 2021, along with our report on that schedule. So we did issue an unmodified or clean opinion. Happy to answer any questions about any of the letters or the memo. Well, thank you so much for the opportunity to do that.
Just
Yep.
one, I had to look it up, I'm not an accountant. But the accrual basis, basically, you're looking, would desire for the city to use a method where expenses and credited and debited when earned and accrued, instead of at the end of the month,
Yes.
quarter, or
So just right now, the city is recording things on the cash basis of accounting. So
Okay.
when cash comes in, they record it. When cash goes out, they record it. And that is completely fine for them to do throughout the
Okay.
year. They have adapted the accrual basis of accounting for the financial statement. So yes, revenues would instead be recorded when earned and expenses recorded in.
that's your suggestion.
Well, that is what the city has elected to report their financial statements
On a cash basis.
on the cash basis throughout the year and then accrual basis at the end of the year. Yep.
Thank you.
Thank you again.
No, thank you.
I would just like to thank Bianca and Jessica for all of their hard work. Thank you also for having us, but they did.
Council, next on the agenda is Corey Mahaffey with Hannibal Regional Economic Development.
Two items on the agenda for you tonight. As you know, I have some of the ownership of the cities. Last of kind of puts together the terms that has discussed thus far. I did want to have had some discussions about this probably the last year or so as well. To my knowledge, operations right, and, state to along with that, they provided a document. Step. So had where the council at with- if so, obviously process. This isn't something had possibility. State at this point, getting direction from obviously happy to have
Andy's comments to me basically if favorable to transfer to the airport. Thought it was in the city's best interest going forward. I'd like to see us. Just my conversation. Laid out logic.
Essentially, what you would like is say this council to move, like us to actually enter into a voice vote stating our like you this process. Like you say, it's what we're looking. Doorway.
I would make it go forward with pursuing the HRC thing for the Port Authority.
Second. Second. Further.
This is just a needle. This isn't not selling it to their.
Correct.
That's what I understand that. I just want to make sure that everybody else understands that I'm not taking that step.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed.
second item we have should have voting shipping. Some I understand it from the city's perspective. City manager, some long term. So probably fall. Work. Conversation. So
HRE manage this lakeside park with.
yeah, there's farming obviously as so there's trying to continue so
Corey, do we not have one project on the burner for that? Don't we have an engineering firm that's nothing's been finalized?
That going some, where would that be in?
Likely.
My thoughts are, the city's not going out actively marketing this and doesn't have the means to, for the HREDC does, so I feel it's a good city to transfer that property.
Set empty, vacant.
They're not economic developers.
Item I'd like to mention, obviously, same.
Us tonight.
I would assume
Pursue.
these terms acceptable to you.
Make a motion to preliminary sales execute.
Second.
Motion is second. Discussion. None, all in favor say aye.
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 Opposed?
Thank you.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is the Police Chief Jacob Naki.
Evening. The grant became available. Space right between state and local security and issued by the Missouri Department of Safety. It's something I wasn't anticipating, and it kind of popped up. Looking through it, they offer $200,000 for a 10% match. Look, we have several things actually kind of possibly, one of which I put on the actual letter submitted to you guys, reference to the computer system that we use to make this record data. So it's 20. A lot of other things exploring. The past few days, I've actually been doing presentations from the lengthy project after talking could have impacts to them. So we're also at the same time at video and body camera video systems officers to wear, which is so with that I think there's some cybersecurity. Yeah, so I'm kind of coming forward to ask permission to apply for this grant. Either pursue either system video, taking me a few days, however the deadline is December 16th. So they can I'm asking to apply for 200 apply for system.
With the
This-
10%.
system.
Just to clarify, I think even if we apply for the video system, still look for records management system. Sure, it's just there's. But I want to make sure because there's some things that been anticipated, some interface issues. I want to make sure that say, hey, maybe proceed the video system. Screen deadline change. Try it.
Is that different than the $20,000, 100% match grant? Something happened?
No,
Because
that grant is for actual.
okay, because it
This
has
is actually
it
for the
has the same
software.
deadline.
This is for.
Okay,
So yeah, that deadline I think has been
well, it extended,
16.
yeah.
It's there's be the third if I apply.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Second, any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? Chief, thank you.
After.
We'll hear from the Chief, Hannibal Fire Department, Ryan Nyson.
Mayor and council, back in the summertime, I applied for safety, security. This, rescue. $706 rescue. This is road stretchers, harnesses, all that stuff. It's 100% funded, so there's zero expected. Tonight, to ask you to sign subsequent acceptance documents.
Outstanding. I'll make it.
Second, discussion. None, all in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you, Chief. Next, Phyllis Nelson, our City Collector. Have some news for us.
First on is getting rid of shredding them. Hard time now, and I've let needing space. So right now, I'm basically July 15 to June, exception of journal. The pension schedule set out by the state. Be more grateful to Jessica. So there will be another. Not right now. I'm many be allowed to shred it. There in town.
Reference the pension schedule, following the pension schedule.
Curious, who does the shredding? Are you using a document shredding company, or do we by hand here in house?
My hearing is not good.
I was wondering if we have a document shredding agency, or do we do it in house? By hand with scissors? We do it in house.
We do have a service that utilized in the past for the scale.
Yeah, it needs to be.
It's the best
We
way.
watch
Yes.
That's the best.
one of us out there making sure that they're all
They're actually waiting on whether you get 10
Phyllis, can you hear my microphone? Can you hear the microphone, my voice? All right. Does the gallery, does anybody else have a problem with the hearing, the volume? Okay.
And me.
It's the same with me. I wanted to make sure it wasn't just me.
Are you saying I have a loud mouth? Maybe that's it.
Mayor, I would make a motion that we approve disposal of the old records and the entries and things that she has outlined in her memorandum.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? That motion's carried. Your next item.
Last thing I have is delinquent business license list. Okay. Down to- Probably in We're still trying, after given permission tonight, to say, we usually people short staff.
Quite a few of these are, larger corporations,
Yes.
so I've got to think that
And so
it just hasn't
often, you
caught
know,
up yet.
the parent company is not here,
Right.
you know, and so these, you know, places are trying to get it done, but they
Sure.
can't, they can only do what,
You're looking at grocery stores, you're looking at restaurants, those, so I think you'll get those, but suggest locking the
we give it up. Do need council's permission.
I'll make a motion, give her.
Okay, I'll second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Thank you. Okay, council, under my name, approval reappointments to the Industrial Development. First reading, Lewis Riggs, reappointment for a term to expire January 2028, and for an appointment, Tom Battenhorst, appointment for a term to expire January 2028. This is up for a first reading this time. This and decision vote should take that time. Also, Police and Fire Retirement Board for a first reading, Jane Reefacell, reappointment for a term to expire December of 2028. Same thing, this will come back to you. Vote there. That's everything under my name at this time. Next on the agenda Mike Dodson, Mayor. Second.
Mr. Mayor, if I may, I'm looking at these two items, and concerning the restructuring of the city clerk's office, I believe that's entirely premature to have that.
Well,
have
if
this
you will
in
let me,
discussion.
at the urge,
I am requesting that first item request is tabled.
at the advice of council, I would request to table that and go at that at a later time.
Oh, then we're in agreement.
We are in agreement.
Perfect.
Technically,
You're making a motion to table.
I second.
Second. Okay. Motion and second to table. Discussion. Say
Aye.
Aye.
items. Next item.
The next item, as you know, the voters of the state of Missouri have approved the use of recreational marijuana. State tax for those sales would be 6%. Bill allows municipalities to tax the sales of recreational marijuana at 3%. So I would like to ask the council to request the city write ballot language to be placed on the April 2023 ballot. Ask the voters of the city to approve a 3% tax on the sales of marijuana with the city.
That is a great idea. I don't know if it'll pass. County, I think it's lost. Capacity. I just
Second.
Motion and a second. Any discussion? Hearing none, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next on the city.
We have still being actually bring us with different changes and all that. It's really not too much. It's that we have to put in our ordinances that we are giving the defendant right to counsel. That's either through their own choice or right to obtain counsel if they're facing any jail time. There's updated court costs in there that will allow us to apply towards the training of the judges and clerks, and it removes a few sections that we use. There's nothing special in there. Just with
Get a list of items that
in your email last Wednesday.
oh, I missed that.
I would ask the current sitting judge, Ash, come forward.
concerned. A lot of this is not really with do following some of the in there. It's clean. Not a lot of changes. But Oscar, the ordinances. Now that this is so clean that up.
I have a question. Will this put you back in your seat over the city court?
Well, that's a great question. Oh, yeah. There's some other things. Shepherd
see happen? Not in our So with that, zero to eight follow. Sorry. Is there any other questions? It's time for. Council, before us, we do have now bill number 22-028. Motion to have the clerk give this bill a second. Adoption.
Second.
Motion and a second. Discussion.
Yeah, I do. You guys have heard this spiel, I think, 3 times now. So maybe I'll pound it into your brains. If passed, this ordinance will create a public comment period at each city council. If and when it is passed, we decide among ourselves how that will be. Currently, Hannibalian speak at a city council meeting. They have to sign up before the next city council agenda is released. In other words, a topic of interest appears, the council agenda is published. The person will not be able to have their voice heard in City Hall for more than for 2 council meetings. This means a person will have to wait at least 17 up to 4 days. In my opinion, that is not acceptable. And we should fix it by passing this work for the constituents deserve to be heard at their committee. Additionally, second here, I'm going to make a motion. The way it is currently written, the public comment period would only be enforced at city council meetings. As a former member of the tree board and the HBPW, I know firsthand how useful they can be. As James mentioned last time we spoke on this, public comment periods are quite normal. So, hope I can get support on that. I formally make a motion to amend the ordinance to create public comment periods at every publicly posted city Hannibal meeting, not just city council.
Second.
Two motions.
So we got 2 motions.
Oh, shit. Oh, sorry. Yeah.
And I
You're
guess
right.
my comment would be that
Hang on. Let's go through the
Okay.
process. 'Cause
Okay.
I'd like to. So deal with your motion.
We have the first motion. Ordinance. As it is. Or a second for that.
Second, I can't.
Motion on the floor currently or second? Sorry? No, there wasn't a second.
no, I seconded it earlier.
You did?
Did. Seconded earlier. Yes. But I'd like to
Sorry.
be able to comment.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah, that I've had instances where somebody's had something of an urgent matter before, and they've conferred with me before the council meeting. I've had them recognized from the floor. They come and speak their piece, so I don't see any.
Yeah, I'm so glad you said that because on October 18th, someone tried to add themselves to the city council agenda, voted no. So, again, we work for the constituents, and we deserve to sit here and listen. And, since you brought it up, I did a little research into the public comment period at the HBPW meetings, and I looked at all the meeting minutes from when I was sworn in way back in May of 2018. That was 4.5 years ago. And in the past 4.5 years, Mr. Dobson has used the public comment period at the HBPW meeting 9 different times. Consistent that we get this.
Speak on behalf of ratepayers. When rate increases were on the table.
Discussion. Yes, sir.
The way
Motion
it's
second.
written.
Aye. Motion second. Amendment.
My biggest concern is how we promulgate the rules. This is a pretty open, it allows for that portion, but it doesn't, it allows us to make our own rules, which I don't disagree with you. I think it's important to let people talk. I think we do a pretty good job. The Mayor Pro Temp has mentioned instances like that. Most everything that vital to the city requires at least a second reading. So you have the opportunity to come, the council hears the reading, go to their constituents for the feedback. I don't know. I think that for me, I would like to see more of a how we're going to speak. I know how it is sitting up here for me and how it's been in the past. We just blanket up and it's the buddy system up here, and it's the first of how we're going to allow this to happen. I think we should put some more time and effort, thought process, not turning it into a circus like you see on. We have the ability. We have emails, cell phones. Constituents call me as their first ward representative, mayor, city manager, city attorney. I think there's a lot of opportunity to speak. Now, I'm not in favor of a public comment process. I just think that it needs to be a little bit better to write it in. That's my.
Their opinion. And to that point, when I first brought this, I made specific recommendations. The city attorney suggested that we pass it and then promulgate it.
Go ahead and call the question. In favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
No.
Councilman Frankie,
Yes.
Mayor Hart,
No.
Councilman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Welch,
Yes.
Councilman Beach,
Aye.
Councilman McCoy.
Passes 4. Their bill 2-08 approved. Next, we have bill number 22-03. Have clerk get this bill. Motion second. Discussion. Hearing none. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
An ordinance amending the code of the city of Hannibal to ensure that the municipal court is in compliance with the applicable of the Missouri first.
This time, let's go into closed session. It's about 6:10:021, paragraph 1 and 13. Myself, council, city manager, city attorney, city clerk, police chief, fire chief. Portion of it, special council. Judge Sebastian. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Second, discussion. None, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Mayor Pro Tem Dobson,
Yes.
Councilman Frankie,
Yes.
Mayor Hart, Councilman Phillips,
Yes.
Councilman Welch,
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you, everyone. Yeah. How about you?